days around.
Hello and welcome to the Tottenham America channel. Today we will be reacting to the weirdest game I have ever watched as a Spurs fan, as Tottenham drew 3-3 with Southampton in the Premier League. Spurs had a chance to go third in the Premier League table with a win over the Saints today, beating Manchester United, but ultimately they drew with 20th placed Southampton after a late equalizer from James Ward-Prowse. We'll start with the goals from the match.
It didn't start off with goals. It started off with 4 injuries before Pedro Porro opened the scoring for Spurs. First, it was Richarlison that went off in the 5th minute. Then, for Southampton, Bella Kotchap went off in the 8th minute. Then went to, I believe it was Bednarek first, then Davies. Both of them went off within 3 minutes of each other. Bednarek looked like he was going to throw up. Davies had something wrong with his calf, or his thigh, hamstring, something like that. And Perisic had to come on for him, who did score later in the game. But it was just crazy how 4 substitutions happened.
It's equal to a Premier League record. There's only ever been 2 matches in Premier League history where there have been 4 injury-enforced substitutions in the first half. Only the second time ever in the Premier League's history since 1992.
Yeah, it's just crazy stuff. But starting off with the first goal in the 45th plus first minute, Pedro Porro scores his first goal for Spurs. Son picks up Pedro Porro. He's so open on the right-hand side. Plays a beautiful ball to him, and Pedro Porro lashes it off the crossbar and into the net, and he gets his first Spurs goal. Spurs go up 1-0 into halftime. Right after halftime, in the 46th minute, Che Adams scores. Lavia's pass finds Walcott on the right wing, who squares it to Adams and puts it in off the post. Forster couldn't get anywhere near it, and Southampton were level. In the 65th minute, Spurs were back ahead 2-1. Kulusevski put in a great cross, and a simple header from Kane put Spurs back into the lead.
Roughly 10 minutes later, it was Ivan Perisic who scored his first Spurs goal and doubling Spurs' advantage to 2 goals in the lead. Son's corner was initially taken out of the penalty area by Højbjerg, and then Kulusevski gets the ball from Højbjerg, switches in from the right and cuts in and provides a beautiful cross in. Romero heads down. Perisic is waiting on the edge of the box and lashes it into the ground, beating Gavin Bazunu and into the back of the net. And at this point, in the 74th minute of the match, it looked like Tottenham were home and dry against the 20th placed Premier League opposition, and it looked like they were going to hold third, at least for today. But Southampton had other plans. In the 78th minute, former Arsenal man Theo Walcott gave Southampton a lifeline. Ward-Prowse put in a corner, but which is cleared by Spurs players, but Southampton regained possession, and Ward-Prowse receives the ball again and puts in 2 crosses, the first of which is rocked, the second of which is headed down by Mara and down to Walcott, who just has to guide it into the back of the net. Really pretty poor defending. Really bad, if we're being honest. Really bad defending from Tottenham. We had 4 players on the goal line and no one coming out to close down Theo Walcott. So he took all the time he needed to just pick a location out to put it in the back of the net. And there was really no one challenging him for that ball. And then in the 90-plus 3rd minute, just to wrap up one of the most ridiculous games we've ever seen, Southampton are awarded a penalty in the 90th minute. Ward-Prowse yet again swings a corner in. Salisu gets his head on it, but it goes the wrong way, and the ball falls out to Maitland-Niles on the bounce. Sarr is there as well, and Sarr tries to go for a big kick to clear it outside of the half. Instead, he, according to the Premier League referees, catches Maitland-Niles, and VAR determines it is a penalty, but probably the worst decision of the match.
Yeah, it was so soft. He literally just brushed his shin.
Yeah, it was not, I don't think it was a penalty at all. Really, really poor decision from the referees. Watch them come out tomorrow and say, we got this wrong, Southampton shouldn't be awarded a penalty, but they always seem to do it way too late. You know, they'll do it the next day, they'll be like, sorry, we got the decision wrong. Too bad, so sad. But then Ward-Prowse scores against his former teammate from the penalty spot, Fraser Forster, and gives Southampton a leveler in the 90-plus 3rd minute. And 6 minutes later, the game ends, but not before Tottenham have a huge chance to go back in front. Perisic puts in a beautiful cross, and Lenglet's at the front post, tries to guide it in, but just finds the wrong side of the post. And that's how the game ended.
Crazy game.
It was really bad from us. I mean...
Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Still inconsistent.
Yep.
Even though this time, there were no specific players at fault. It was just our whole team in general.
Yeah.
We just lacked intensity, but that brings the whole thing back to Conte not bringing subs on.
Yep. And if we kind of look at the whole timeline of the game, so, okay, until the 37th minute, it was really inconsistent because of injuries. We didn't have chances. Southampton really didn't have many chances, and injuries just plagued both teams. People were joking that, neither team was going to finish with any players on the pitch. Once 2 players went off within 8 minutes. Then Porro scored, and we were actually looking good in that little section after the 37th minute. We were attacking. Porro was holding his space on the right. Southampton weren't picking that up, and we looked good. And we looked like scoring more.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, Che Adams equalizes, but then we bounce back with the Kane and Perisic goal.
That Che Adams goal, it's a big mistake in our defense from Perisic and Lenglet both. Their lack of pace really did us over there, and it kind of shows you the effect that Davies has on this team, especially defensively, because we know Lenglet has pretty much zero pace. Let's be honest, he's pretty slow. Davies has that pace to keep up with Lenglet, but in the end, really, Perisic and Lenglet, you can't really defend on that left side, because Perisic is an attacking wingback, we know that, basically a winger. And Lenglet's slow. Neither of them have pace because Perisic is older and Lenglet's just not a fast guy. And so as soon as, I believe it was Walcott, as soon as Walcott gets away, he's just sprinting down that right side. No one's going to stop him. Eric Dyer's too scared to come across. And Romero's trying to cover Che Adams, but in the end he can't because he's the only one covering him. So that was just defensive calamity.
Yeah. Who do you think's our man of the match? I would definitely say Pedro Porro.
Yeah, Pedro Porro.
Pedro Porro once again.
Then Harry Kane hit back. Good cross from Kulusevski. That's the first time we've seen Kulusevski back in a long time, I think.
Yeah, really good cross from him for Kane's goal. After Kane and Perisic's goal, we looked like we were rocking until we conceded that goal, that Walcott goal. That really changed everything. Changed everything at the St. Mary's, and we brought the wrong subs on. Emerson, that's all right. That's all right of a sub. Yeah. But I don't think it was the right decision to go to a 5-3-2.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
I think it would have been smarter just bringing on Danjuma, but apparently Conte thinks Danjuma has, tricked him or something, betrayed him, because Danjuma clearly cannot get a sniff in right now. For the 10 minutes between Harry Kane and Perisic's goal, we were dominating play.
Yeah, if Danjuma came on, we would have had a refresh in an intensity.
But
we had 2 subs early in the game,
yeah.
But those aren't real subs, because once we get to the 70th minute, those players have been playing for 50 minutes now. So
and yet again, just like against Wolverhampton Wanderers when we lost, it was 3 subs that made the difference. Today, it was Sulemana, Mara, and Carlos Alcaraz coming on for Southampton in between the 2 goals that we scored. We obviously managed to capitalize on the chances with the Perisic goal, but Mara got the assist for the Walcott goal. And the main reason that Southampton were so forward in the end minutes was because of Alcaraz and Sulemana. Sulemana actually made one of the runs that led to the corner that came from the penalty. So it's yet again, all in the subs. And we could not match that because bringing on a like-for-like player and Pedro Porro for Emerson Royal, that's an okay sub. I get that because Pedro Porro is much more attacking. But Sarr for Kulusevski is quite possibly one of the worst subs we could have made in that time period. We really should have brought on Danjuma.
Even if we would have used up all of our subs, we brought on Sarr for Skip and Danjuma for Kulusevski. Would have been so much better. The bad part is taking Kulusevski off. He was already subbed in to start with.
Yeah, that's true. But just what a horrific game. It was just a really bad game. We should have won.
When I look back on it, I'm just like, when I look back at this season, I'm like, what are we doing? Especially these last couple months where we've been so inconsistent after the World Cup. What are we doing?
We've missed a lot of big, easy chances to go forward in the table. We missed the chance with Wolves. We missed the chance with today against Southampton. We missed the chance in the FA Cup against Sheffield United. We missed a chance against Leicester. That was the worst one. Aston Villa, Brentford, right after the World Cup. I think it's time for Conte to go. I don't think he's going to stay here.
I think Ryan Mason until the end of the season.
That's probably what's going to happen, and I would not be too mad at that. But Conte's clearly something's not working here because I know that it's always about you're going to have to endure the bad results if you want to go through a rebuild. But when it was Mikel Arteta at Arsenal, he was still making changes, even though they were losing every game. He was making changes actively.
Well, Conte's not the type of manager for a rebuild.
That too.
Either.
Yeah. But like, you have to have some faith in the new players that you buy, and that's what Arteta had, and that's why they're flying at the top of the Premier League table, because their rebuild was so perfect. But apparently Danjuma can't get a sniff in anymore, and Eric Dyer deserves to start every game until the end of time because he's such a good defender. So we just don't have the right idea of a rebuild. And that's probably what comes to haunt us all the time.
It's not the players, it's the manager.
It is the players. I don't know what you're saying. It's the players.
It is the players and the managers.
It's the players, it's the manager, it's the
everyone.
coaching staff.
It's Tottenham. It's the history of the Tottenham.
It's Tottenham. It's not... There's no one person that's at fault here. It's the whole thing, up to down. It's the whole thing that's a problem here. It's Conte, it's his coaching staff, it's the players, it's players like Dyer, Sanchez,
It's Levy,
Longley, Tanganga,
Deadwood.
Perisic, players like that. You could even go to the top. You go to Levy, you go to all of our scouting staff. The problems just stem from the whole club. So to get rid of that is going to take a long, long time. So we might not see a trophy for a long time if we keep going at this rate. It's going to be a very interesting end of the season. We're going to an international break after this. So this could be a big opportunity for us to see a managerial swap. And I really wouldn't be surprised if we see it. So I think keep your eyes out for that one, because drawing 3-3 to bottom of the league when you could have had a chance to go third and you were up 3-1 is pretty inexcusable. Surely he has to go now. But that's it for our instant reactions to Tottenham's 3-3 draw to Southampton in the Premier League. If you enjoyed and want to see more Spurs content, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below what your reactions are to this game. And until next time,
come on, you Spurs!